metabolist perspective, I'm not so obsessed with about taking every single nutrient that needs to be taken in daily. What I'm more concerned with is how the body is digesting. Because the thing about it is, as you have a high level of fibre, particularly if it's a low sugar fibre, I think sugar is probably one of the key things. So we definitely need to have high fibre, high forage diet, so low non-structural carbohydrate, which is why all my diets that I'm recommending for horses that are suffering metabolic syndrome or and the impacts of laminitis are all based on the product of Fibre Beet. Well, not the Fibre Beet brand, but actually Speedy Beet is the one that I actually like to use, because it forms a very nice basis for adding herbs to, which can then help to regulate and normalize the metabolism. So I want to do a couple of things when I'm trying to regulate and normalize the metabolism. I want to improve the way the body is actually responding to insulin, because one of the key things about a metabolic syndrome is the body's inability to process carbohydrate appropriately and, of course, manage blood sugar glucose or blood glucose levels. So that's where we get the term insulin resistance from. The other thing I like to do when we're trying to manage anything like either in people or horses or dogs, doesn't matter, because let's also remember that high levels of insulin is also responsible for laying down higher levels of adipose tissue or fatty tissue. And fatty tissue also is an area where the body, if there is a lot in laying around, it is one of the storehouses of toxins, metabolites, chemicals, whatever might be environmentally impacting the body stores in these fat cells areas, so it stays there out of circulation, out of the bloodstream. So it's interesting when you start looking at changing the metabolism. You can go through periods where the body is going through a detox, and this detoxification is as the fat is burning away, you're getting a release of these metabolites and or toxins that might be stored, and the body does it in a way under its own management, because we're not forcing anything to happen. This is the key thing about herbs. Herbs are about subtly changing the communication between the cells, whether it's the nervous system cells informing the endocrine system cells, therefore influencing the way hormones are actually responding and being released in the body, and also changing the way new cells are receiving that information. If that's what we're doing very slowly over a period of time, then the body is also going to modulate and adjust the way it can actually do these eliminations. Now, sometimes you can get these, what's known as a cytokine storm. It's a bit of a popular word actually at the moment, which simply means that the body is reorganizing itself, which can appear that things get worse before they get better. And it's a very different experience to, for example, if you were treating a horse that had laminitis and you were changing their metabolism, you might get a period where the horse looks like he's actually going backwards. This might happen for a week, and then you've broken through that period, and then you're actually on the up, because as those metabolites have actually cleared out of the system, then you're starting to get the restoration of the metabolism, which is what I often talk about. And you'll see that the herbs that I'm using, for example, in our metabolic restoration tonics, like the Metabolic S or even the Cushing's S, are all situated on supporting the liver, the kidneys, the thyroid, the pancreas in particular, because we need to regulate blood sugar, because we all know that the pancreatic function is really critical, and of course these neuroendocrine feedback mechanisms. So there's a lot there that I like to do in those metabolic restorations. One of the